And as if that is not enough, there are hints of a third car from Ferrari being released this year. Hi and welcome to another episode of Supercar News of the Week. Today we are at Hanwells in Ealing. Let's go inside and check it out. So we're here on a Saturday and it's a really cold day today. It's mid-March and we've had some really good weather recently, but right now it's really cold, so I'm glad to be inside the showroom. So as I mentioned, today we're at Hanwells, which is a showroom in West Ealing, in Ealing, which is in West London. And Hanwells specialise in Rolls Royce and Bentley motor cars, and they have done since 1975, so they've been in business for 44 years now. So today we're actually at their main showroom. Just across the road is a second showroom, and then they have a third showroom as well, where they do their mechanics, and then they have storage facilities and everything there too. So they've got a huge amount of cars on selection, and I was here a couple of years ago looking at a Bentley on RHT, and I came to this showroom. They had two here, and then I said, oh well, it's not quite the right spec. So he said, don't worry, we've got some more, and we jumped into a Silver Shadow 2 to go down to their other facility and had a look at a couple more over there. So they've always got a great selection of vehicles, and I will always remember that driving the Shadow 2. And as you'll see in a moment, they have a huge selection of cars, not just the modern stuff, but the classics as well. So Bentley and Rolls Royce enthusiasts are always in good hands over here. But we're here to see one car only, and that car is the Rolls Royce Phantom Drophead Coupe. Let's check it out. So this, ladies and gentlemen, is the Rolls Royce Phantom Drophead Coupe. And it's called a coupe, but as you can see, it is a convertible. But absolutely beautiful car, huge car. Everybody knows the Phantom four-door car. That's the one that's been the most popular one. But the convertible and the coupe itself have been really the ones that have been my favourite. So this particular car is a 2008 Phantom. It's finished in Metropolitan Blue Metallic, and it has a silver satin bonnet and hood, and just look at that. That is absolutely beautiful. I really love it. This particular finish, it's really quite special. The interior is a light cream interior with navy blue secondary hide, and it has the navy blue carpets as well. It's fitted also with a teak deck, which is quite fitting actually, because I was just talking to them over here and I was just saying this is quite a land yacht, and obviously with the teak deck straight out of a yacht itself, I mean, that is just absolutely stunning and very unique. As you can see, the interior itself, I mean, this is really what I love about Rolls-Royce. If you look at the interior, it's very simple, no sort of modern gadgets or anything like that. But that's not to say it doesn't have them, because what it does have is all the modernities as well. So behind that clock is a camera screen and a TV as well. And it also has a DAB radio tuner as well. So, it has everything that you need, but it's all just hidden away to give it that more classic look and feel. Right, we are inside the Phantom Drophead Coupe, and we've actually put the roof up just because acoustically it's so much better. And the first thing you notice is that the roof is all fully leather lined, and it doesn't feel like you're sitting inside a convertible. With the roof up, it feels like a coupe, just simply because the interior is just so well done, and that's what makes Rolls-Royce feel special. And then you look around and you notice that every surface is covered in leather or wood or chrome, and it's really it's a really special place to sit. So the first bit of news is a bit of a sad one actually. It's about a story of a joyrider who was killed after stealing a Ferrari F430. So this news comes out of Colorado in the USA. The driver stole a 2007 Ferrari F430 Spider and subsequently crashed it. He unfortunately died. A female passenger who was in the vehicle did survive, and she's supposed to be in hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. So the story is that they stole the car from a dealership in Colorado. The dealership realized pretty quickly that the vehicle was stolen, and they reported it to the police pretty much straight away. The police did find the vehicle fairly soon, and they took pursuit, but they weren't really chasing the car. They were just sort of following the vehicle. The driver then lost control of the car, hit a number of trees and a fence, and ultimately, the car itself was obviously written off. He obviously lost his life, as well, as I mentioned as well, and the female passenger was very lucky to be alive. Witnesses said that the car left the road at very high speed, and before hitting the trees. And you've got to remember that these cars, the F430 is about 500 brake horsepower, and they are very quick cars, but the laws of physics, everything has its limitations. So if you're an owner out there, just be careful, because it's very, very easy to spin these cars in sort of wet conditions, even in dry conditions if the tires are not warm enough. Right, moving on to more happier news. It's been a record year for Lamborghini. Last year was their best year ever, and they've beat all their records in terms of sales, turnover, profitability. And it's proof really that the world wants supercars, which is great news, because we obviously love supercars on this channel, but it seems that there's a lot of people out there who also want supercars as well. And Lamborghini is probably one of your more extreme models when it comes to supercars. Deliveries were up 51%, which is absolutely amazing. They sold 5,750 vehicles last year, and in comparison, Ferrari, they sold 7,000. So they're not far off Ferrari in terms of sales. The cars that sold for them were the different versions of the Huracan, the Aventador, and of course the new Lamborghini SUV, the Urus. And love it or hate it, I personally am a big fan, but that car is going to do wonders for them. I mean, if you look at the company itself, where they now have 1,750 employees at Lamborghini, and that's a 70% increase of staff of what they had 5 years ago. So Lamborghini doing amazingly well. Sitting in this car, the Phantom, you sort of get a sense of the smell, the leather, the wood, and everything like that. And I mentioned last week about the smell of the Ferrari F430. Well, have you ever owned a Bentley and wanted to smell like your Bentley? Well, now you can, because Bentley have launched a range of perfumes and aftershaves, which is an extension of their automobile range. And you won't smell like your car, so it's not going to make you smell of petrol or oil or anything like that. But they've developed 3 different scents, and what it's called Beyond Bentley, the collection. And as Bentley like to put it, it's a voyage into scents. Yep. There's 3 different smells or scents that they've launched. The first one is called Exotic Musk, which is not Elon's dancing sister. No, this is it's supposed to remind you of Acapulco in Mexico. The second one is called Majestic Cashmere, which is supposed to reminisce one of the smells of Goa in India. And the final one it's called Wild Vetiver. It's supposed to remind you of Indonesia, in particular Java. So they're available in stores. And so many cars came out at the Geneva Motor Show that we covered last week that we didn't actually get a chance to cover all of them. And one of the brands that we didn't get to cover was Aston Martin. And they are doing amazingly well. They're coming out with some really truly beautiful cars. I've been a fan of Aston Martin for many years, but some of the cars that they're coming out with now are so spot on. So in particular, they have what was called the RB003. It's a design concept that was shown at Geneva Motor Show, and really what it's showing is the direction that Aston Martin are going in. So the mid-engine V8 road cars have been very successful for Ferrari over the years. Traditionally, Aston Martin have been front-engine V12s, but what they've realized is the market that they need to be in is the mid-engine car. So they are not launching a V8 engine. What they're launching is a hybrid V6. which a lot of manufacturers are heading down that route as well, emissions and all of that. Lots of changes coming in 2023, I think it is. So they're very focused on those changes that they need to make to their fleets. So the mid-engine car is actually going to be their third mid-engine car after the Valkyrie and Valkyrie AMR Pro cars, which have already been released, or at least in concept form. And they're working very closely with Red Bull Advanced Technologies, who have a lot of F1 knowledge, which has also been making its way over to the vehicles as well. One of those techs that's coming over is something called FlexiFoil, and that's a material that's used in aerospace, and really Aston Martin are working closer with NASA in this case as well. And what FlexiFoil does in planes and spacecrafts, it reduces or eliminates drag and the issues around that. So that's something that Aston Martin are looking to introduce into their road vehicles. And one of the things I love about Aston is they really get the interiors right. You know, unlike the Valkyrie, this is designed for comfort, and it's absolutely stunning, very modern, minimalistic, and weight saving has been a key part at every stage of the design. So this is obviously still a concept car. The road version will be different to this, but we do expect that the interior to be, you know, as crisp and sharp and cool looking as this concept version. We spoke last week about the F8 Tributo, which was the new V8 replacement to the 488 GTB, and it seems now that there is very likely to be another car released in the summer of this year, which is going to be a V6 hybrid, and the hybrid test mule has been spotted. There's been rumours for quite some time that a new car would come, and you know, this was confirmed at Geneva that this car is currently under development. So the mule car the development car, it was spotted in Sweden. Body wise, it's not in the new body, so we don't know what it looks like yet. It's still running around in the 488 body, but obviously they're testing the mechanicals and doing all this sort of engineering around that side of it. Now there's also rumours that this car might well get a historic name from Ferrari, the Dino. Dino, or Alfred Dino, was Enzo's son, and he developed a car back in 1968. Unfortunately he passed away, but the car itself was very well respected, not initially because it was actually seen as a cheaper version to a Ferrari. So initially it was not actually seen as you know, the car to have. Ferrari was still the car to have. This was the cheaper sibling, and it was not actually even badged as Ferrari. It was actually badged as a Dino. It was really expected that the Dino name would make a comeback when the California was released, and everybody thought it was going to be called the Dino as the baby Ferrari, and instead they used the name California. But there's good reason why this would actually be called a Dino now, and that the reason for that is because the original Dino came out with a V6 engine. This is also going to be a V6 engine as well. It'd be great if they do revive that name. The later Dinos that were released were actually V8 engine models, but the original one was a V6. And as if that is not enough, there are hints of a third car from Ferrari being released this year. So what is it going to be? Well, you know, obviously, you know, the entry model at the moment is the Portofino. That's a new car. You know, the 488 has just been replaced with the Tributo. You know, could it be the hypercar? Could we be looking at, you know, perhaps the 488 Spider? You know, we already have the 812 Superfast. It might be a bonkers version of the 812. We'll have to wait and see, but chances are we're going to have a third Ferrari released in 1999. We'll let you know about it. And the final bit of news is that we've written an extended article on this, so I'm going to go into some detail on this, but for the full detail you have to go to our website, supercartribe.com. Pagani have just entered their 20th year of business, and it's really hard to believe that it's 20 years already. I mean, when you look at their cars, they still look modern today. So the car that they launched with was the C12, and that was launched exactly 20 years ago at the Geneva Motor Show. And at the time when the car was launched, Evo magazine were over at Geneva. They went over, one of their guys sort of said, "Oh, you've got to check out this car. It's called a Pagani." You know, nobody really knew anything about it. They went over and had a look at the vehicle, and they were completely blown away. Even today, when you look at those cars, I mean, you look at the C12, it's hard to believe that this car is 20 years old. Even today, it looks outstanding. As mentioned, the first car was the C12, chassis number 001. It was also the crash car as well. Now, that car was fully restored by Pagani, and they displayed that car on their stand at the Geneva Motor Show this year, which was just fantastic. And it really sort of brought smiles to everybody's faces, because to see that car again, you know, in pristine condition, you know, really just blew everybody away. So, you know, as you are probably aware, Pagani are built by craftsmen, really. I mean, today the car that leads their lineup is the Huayra Roadster, and that in itself is such a beautiful car, both to look at interior, externally, to drive. Everything about it is just so spot on and perfect. I had the pleasure of visiting the factory 3 years ago, and I have to say, it's not until you have an experience like that where you actually see these cars being built, you know, it's a truly hand-built car. I mean, they really do hand build, put this thing together, you know, piece by piece. You know, the way that they construct the vehicle, the carbon fiber, you know, you see them doing it with their own bare hands. They're shaping this thing, and it's almost like they're molding this car. Absolutely beautiful cars. And it really made me appreciate the brand a lot more. And I loved it before, but now I'm truly a fan. So check out that article. We've got a full extended article on our website on SupercarTribe. Everything I've covered today, I will include links below, so you don't have to go searching on the website. You can just check in the description, click on the link, and go straight to the articles if you want to read more about them. I just wanted to give you an idea of the content that we're putting out there, because we're putting out a huge amount of content. So today is Saturday. This video gets shot on Saturday, and it goes live by the end of the day. So this is Supercar News of the Week. On Monday, we have articles on the website. We have articles every day, but this particular article is called a drool article, and what we do is we select something from the current range of models of the vehicles that we cover, and we focus on that article, on that particular vehicle. On Wednesday, we have a second video come out, and this was actually not originally in the plan. When we filmed the F50 last week, we had the footage and we had the show and everything like that. And what I decided to do was actually to split it off into a separate show. So we have the Saturday show being the actual Supercar News of the Week, and then the Wednesday show being about the vehicle that we are filming inside of. So in this, what we call the studio car. So last week it was the F50. So the studio car video came out. The review, the walk around came out on the Wednesday. This studio car video will come out on the Wednesday following, so Wednesday next week. So you can check it out on our website, and that's basically going to be our schedule with the videos. So Saturday, Supercar News of the Week; Wednesday, studio car. On Thursday, we release a weekly podcast on iTunes, Google Play, or you can check it out on our website, and that's called Talking Supercars. On Friday, we have another drool article, but this is looking at something from the back catalogue, so something from the modern classics or from the classic range for each of the 9 brands that we cover. And 2 to 3 times a day, we release articles throughout the week. So every single day, we have articles coming out on our websites, usually 2, sometimes 3 articles per day. So definitely check us out and have a look and see what we are writing about. Our website is supercartribe.com. Well, thanks very much for joining us here at Hanwells in Ealing. Next week, we're in a different place, in a different car, but again with the latest stories. Subscribe and join the tribe.